We begin. We begin with President Biden's unannounced trip to Ukraine early Monday morning on his way to visit Poland. It's his first trip to the war-torn country since the Russian invasion. The president met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and renewed his pledge of U.S. support. CBS 2's Stephen Portnoy has more from Poland.
Freedom is priceless. It's worth fighting for.
With Russia's war in Ukraine raging on, President Biden made a surprise trip to Kyiv, where he met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Russia's aim was to wipe Ukraine off the map. Putin's war of conquest is failing.
The president spent about 6 hours in Ukraine's capital, where he marked the end of the first year of the conflict.
1 year later, Kyiv stands, and Ukraine stands. Democracy stands.
U.S. officials say Russia was notified of the trip some hours before the president arrived, but the movements of the American president were kept secret. After leaving Ukraine, President Biden headed here to Poland to discuss military and humanitarian aid for Ukraine with a broader group of Eastern European leaders. Speaking in Kyiv, the president announced an additional military aid package for Ukraine of around $500 million.
That announcement includes artillery ammunition for HIMARS and howitzers, more javelins, anti-armor systems, air surveillance radars. They'll protect Ukrainian people.
Over the weekend, Vice President Harris told a security conference in Germany that Russia has committed crimes against humanity in Ukraine.
To all of those who have perpetrated these crimes, you will be held to account.
The declaration could ultimately lead to war crimes charges against Russian officials. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Warsaw, Poland.
Now, what are we doing? I want to talk about this. If we've been following this story about going to Ukraine, my first question is this: why are we visiting, or why is the president of this country, of the United States, visiting Ukraine? Like, did you hear the sirens? They're like in the middle of a war, and we're going to send our president over there. And as a matter of fact, that sirens and then everything is all for show. You know what I mean? So they know, so that the president thinks that they're preparing themselves for war. And like, there's so many things happening in this country that the president needs to take care of. So it's like, why are we at war in Ukraine? And why are we investing so much in making sure that they're okay? He just said in that report that they're taking $500,000, or they're giving $500,000 to the Ukrainian on top of all the money we're already giving them. So it makes you question. That's where the conspiracy theories comes out of left field, out of right field, out of everywhere. That why are we so heavily invested in helping that country that's nowhere near the United States, on the other side of the world? It's just a horrible thing. And then all the lefties that are supporting this is like, dude, we're doing the right thing. No, we're not. We just had a bomb in Ohio where the president haven't even said anything about it. You know, the train derailment. I know everybody's aware of the train derailments and everything that's happening in Ohio. And what is the president doing? Nothing. He should be over there helping those people out. We need help. This country needs help. Nobody's perfect, you know, and there's never enough money here, but yet we're sending for support to Ukraine. Why are we supporting this country? Like, what is the honest truth? And we know they're not going to tell us what's really happening and why we're investing so much money into Ukraine. But it should be obvious. I think it's not obvious to the young people. Young people don't see this nefarious side of the administration, of adults that are sticking their hands in the cookie jar and pulling out money for themselves and all the other characters involved in this. I think the rabbit hole is too deep for the younger people who are supporting this to understand. But there's no way we should have sent the president over there in the middle of what's happening here. What do we have here? We got the balloons, we got trains everywhere colliding, and we got towns and cities that need help because they have to like get out of the city and run away from the disaster, from the train and the toxic chemicals. It's horrible that we are pretending we don't see the chaos that's happening here. I mean, I think we all seen the reports of what's happening in Ohio. And if you don't live in Ohio, the least you could do is sympathize for them and just understand that they need our help. That $500,000 that was given to Ukraine, it could have been used to get rid of the oil and all the spills that's happening, to fix the trains, you know. But it's a horrible idea that the president right now is in Ukraine supporting a war that doesn't really affect us. Or when I say us, I mean the country. What are the benefits that it brings to us to help them out, to help them have democracy? And then that's another thing. Why we keep going up against Putin? Like, are we trying to set up World War III? So that's what it looks like. What do you guys think? This all is escalating, so we could set up World War III. So what are we now, headed towards war? We got Kamala talking about Russia's committing those crimes. Why would she say that? So what? Now they're preparing themselves for war if it comes to World War III. This is chaotic, and I just wanted to put it out there. On the nose, please let me know what you think. If you got this far in the video, please subscribe. I'm trying to create more videos, set up a channel here. Let's see if it works out. But right now, Biden is just taking us down a rabbit hole that we're not going to be able to climb out of. But maybe he's doing that so like that he will be reelected. Because during wartime, typically the country doesn't like to change president because we're in the middle of a war, right? So changing president doesn't really happen in the middle of a war. That's historically. Let's see. Maybe that's the game plan. But let me know what you think. Please subscribe. See you guys on the next video. This is crazy.